Welcome back to ChronoCast. I'm Decimus.
And I'm Sophia. We're here, as always, bringing you perspectives straight from the heart of, 476 CE Rome.
That's right. Today we're diving deep into, what it actually feels like to live through what they call the fall of Rome. Because, they say Rome fell in a day, but I tell you, I felt it crumble every single time I walked past a dry aqueduct or a locked granary.
Oh, Decimus, that's so true. But I wonder, wasn't it through that very crumbling that we actually found new strength? I mean, the church still teaches us that, even now.
A locked granary? It's not the same, is it? I mean, take our cities. Remember how bustling Rome, Milan, Ravenna, they used to be? Just vibrant.
They were, Decimus. They really were. But, it's not just Rome, is it? Even here, you see it.
Exactly. The aqueducts, Sophia, dry. The public baths, boarded up. I mean, where do people even, go to wash anymore? And the grain distribution. It isn't what it was. We used to have such order, such system.
It's true, the large systems have faltered. But then you look at the local markets, don't you? They're still going. Even if the coinage, it's not worth what it used to be. People are, just bartering now. It's different, but it works in its own way.
Works, you say? It's chaos, Sophia. And the security, good gods. I mean, some districts are just, abandoned now? Or worse, picked clean by whoever feels like it. You can just feel the decay, can't you? This sense of things just falling apart.
Well, it's certainly a different kind of order, isn't it? A decentralized one, perhaps. It feels less grand, yes, but people are resourceful, Decimus. They find a way.
And it's not just the cities either. I mean, out in the countryside, the colony, the farmers, I hear it's just, so much worse for them. All that talk of things falling apart, it's even more acute, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Decimus. You hear the stories. The farmers, they're just getting absolutely, pummeled by the increasing taxation. And the instability, it just drives them further into debt. So many are just, being forced into bonded labor for the wealthy landlords. It's heartbreaking.
Bonded labor for Romans? It just makes you wonder what we're fighting for, really, when our own people are reduced to that.
Precisely. And what's really quite shocking, if I'm honest, is that some of them, some of the rural folk, they actually welcome these barbarian rulers.
Welcome them? Sophia, are you serious? The very people we're supposedly at war with?
Well, yes, because apparently some of these barbarian leaders, like the Visigoths, they offer more stable terms, less erratic taxation, sometimes even just a consistent, predictable hand. It's a stark contrast to our own tax collectors, who, let's be honest, can be quite predatory.
But that's just unthinkable. To turn to them, it's like a betrayal of Rome itself. How could anyone choose that?
Well, Decimus, when your stomach is empty and your family is facing ruin, sometimes loyalty shifts, doesn't it? It's not about grand ideals for them often. It's about, just surviving the winter. It truly highlights how desperate things have become for some, doesn't it?
All this talk of shifting loyalties, it just makes you think about the army, doesn't it? Our own legions, I mean, they're not what they once were, not by a long shot. The backbone of Rome, and now it's a mess.
Oh, Decimus, it truly is. And it's not just their discipline, is it? I hear so many of them are, well, they're underpaid, terribly underpaid. And so many aren't even Romans anymore. They're mercenaries. How can you expect loyalty, true loyalty, when they're not even fighting for their home?
Exactly. And then they come to us, the regular folk, to make up the difference. It's either, oh, you're drafted. Go fight some campaign you've never even heard of in Gaul. Or it's another tax to support some distant skirmish. Campaigns we don't understand for an army that, well, honestly, sometimes it feels like it's barely ours anymore.
It's incredibly disorienting, isn't it? Like you just wake up one day and suddenly you're told your son has to march off for something utterly meaningless to your daily life. And then there's the other side of it too, the fear, the sheer terror of what might just arrive on your doorstep.
The raids, oh, don't even get me started on the raids. The Vandals, the Huns, they just sweep through. Remember when those Huns were just everywhere? People just dropped everything, their homes, their fields.
Yes, the stories are just awful. The trauma, seeing entire communities just uprooted. It's not just a battle, is it? It's your entire world being shattered. And the roads are just full of people, constantly moving, trying to find somewhere safe, somewhere that isn't next in line for destruction.
Like a tide, people just washing over the land. And where do they go? To other cities that are already bursting at the seams, I suppose. It just adds to the chaos, doesn't it? It feels like nowhere is truly safe anymore. Not really. And, speaking of things just changing and things that used to be there just vanishing, it's not just the roads or the army or the markets, is it? It's also our beliefs, what we hold sacred.
Yes, Decimus. That's a profound shift, isn't it? For so long, it felt like the old gods, they were just there, part of the fabric of everything. But now it's Christianity that holds sway. It's everywhere.
It is. And, well, I can't help but feel a pang of, I don't know, regret, for the old festivals, the ones that we used to have, the traditions. They banned them. And the temples, too, defunded, closed. It just feels like a piece of our heritage is just gone.
I understand that. I truly do. It's a loss in a way, but Decimus, when everything else is crumbling around us, when the aqueducts are dry and the granaries are locked, the church has become something else, hasn't it? It's a source of stability, a place where people find aid, find comfort, like a structure when all other structures are falling apart.
I suppose. But then you see the bishops and their power just growing, spiraling. It's a strange thing, isn't it? For some, it's hope, like you say, but for others, it's just another source of division, another group telling you how to live, what to believe, taking away what was always there. It feels forced sometimes.
I hear that. It's certainly not without its tensions, and I think people are still grappling with it, But when I see the compassion, when I see communities coming together, it does give me hope that something good can still, flourish in these dark times.
Speaking of things changing, it's not just the beliefs, is it? It's also who is here. I mean, walking through the forum these days, you hear so many different languages. And the clothes, the customs. It's not like it used to be.
Ah, yes, the so-called barbarians. It's quite the shift, isn't it? I remember when it felt like everyone was, well, Roman.
Exactly. Now you have Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Vandals everywhere. They're settling in, bringing their own ways. And some people, they embrace it like it's practical, you know? But me, I look at it and I just think, is this the generation? Is this what we've come to?
I see your point, Decimus. It's certainly, different. But, perhaps it's also a form of adaptation. When things are so uncertain, sometimes you have to, take what works. I mean, some of these groups, they've brought different skills, different ways of doing things that actually help in these difficult times.
Help, yes, but at what cost to us, to what it means to be Roman? It feels like the lines are they're just blurring. What does citizen even mean anymore when you have so many different peoples, different ways all mixed in? It used to be so clear.
It's true that the traditional meaning has expanded, hasn't it? Or perhaps evolved. It's not just about, where you were born or who your ancestors were, but maybe about who you are now and how you contribute. It's a broader tapestry now, for sure.
A tapestry with some very strange threads, if you ask me. I miss the old order, the clarity. This just feels like everything's getting muddled, like we're losing ourselves, bit by bit.
I understand that feeling of loss, Decimus, but maybe it's not losing ourselves, but becoming something new, something perhaps more resilient, even if it feels unsettling right now. It's a new kind of Roman identity, I suppose.
All this talk about things changing and what it means to be Roman now, it just brings me back to how it feels. Honestly, sometimes I just feel this deep disillusionment. Like the glory, the grandeur we once had. It's just a nostalgic memory now. It hurts,
I do know, Decimus. It's not just a physical crumbling, is it? It's a crumbling of spirit, too. And that brings a lot of, anxiety. People are afraid, aren't they? About economic failure, about whether the gods are punishing us for something.
Yeah, the fear is palpable. You walk down the street and you just feel it. People are worried about raids, about where the next meal is coming from. And then you look at the elites, the tax collectors. There's so much resentment, isn't there, against those who are supposed to be leading us but seem so distant, so corrupt.
Oh, absolutely. The absentee landlords, the governors, it's a difficult pill to swallow when you see them thriving while others barely survive. But it's interesting, isn't it, how some people have actually managed to adapt, even thrive in a way.
Thrive? How do you mean? I mostly see people just trying to get by.
Well, you see some, don't you? Some have found a different path. Some have actually done quite well under the new rulers, the so-called barbarians. They offered different terms, maybe more stability than the old Roman system did in some places. And then there are those who retreat, who find solace and purpose in the monasteries, in the church. It's a profound shift, really.
So some find new masters, and some find, God. It's a very different kind of strength, I suppose. I find it hard to imagine thriving when everything I knew, everything that made sense feels like it's just slipping away.
It's definitely a testament to the human spirit, isn't it? To find a way, even in these dark times, whether it's through pragmatic alliances or spiritual refuge. There's a whole spectrum of responses to this new reality we find ourselves in. Some lash out, some despair, but then others, they find a different footing. It's quite remarkable, really. You know, Decimus, all this talk about finding a different footing, it really makes me think about how we even talk about what's happening. People say the fall of Rome, don't they? Like it was one big sudden crash.
Well, for some, Sophia, it certainly felt like a crash. When the granary shut down, when the Vandals, well, you know, it felt pretty sudden then.
True. But looking back, isn't it more like a slow fragmentation? Like bits breaking off and then finding a new place, a new shape? Not just a total collapse, but a kind of realignment, if you will.
A realignment, huh? I suppose. It's certainly been a long, drawn-out affair, hasn't it? Not like one big hammer blow, more like a slow decay, a prolonged illness.
Exactly. And think about it, Decimus. Roman culture, our laws, our language, they haven't just vanished, have they? They're persisting in these hybrid forms. You see it in Visigothic Spain or Ostrogothic Italy. It's like the old roots are still there, just growing new branches.
Hybrid forms. I guess so. Still, it's not the same, is it? Not the pure Roman way. It's watered down or muddied, depending on how you look at it.
Perhaps, but it's there. And let's not forget the Eastern Roman Empire. I mean, they're still going strong, aren't they? They've even briefly reconquered parts of the West, I hear. That hardly sounds like a complete fall for Rome as a whole, does it?
Well, yes, Constantinople, that's a different story. They've always been a bit different, but here in Rome, it feels like the fall, Sophia. It truly does.
I know it feels that way, Decimus. I really do. But I still believe, I truly believe, that it's through this crumbling, this slow, sometimes painful change, that something better is able to rise. The church, for example, is stronger now, offering something truly vital. It's not the end, it's a profound transformation.
A transformation? I wish I could see it as clearly as you do, Sophia. I see a lot of loss, a lot of what was great, just gone.
And that's fair. But perhaps what's rising is just different, not necessarily lesser, just, well, new and full of its own kind of strength.
Well, Sophia, I suppose that's really what we wanted to get across today, isn't it? It's not just about, emperors and battles, but about what it felt like for the everyday Roman or, well, even those who weren't Roman anymore.
Absolutely, Decimus. It's so crucial to understand this massive historical shift from the perspective of the people who actually lived through it. Their struggles, their adaptations, their fears, their hopes, it's all part of the story, isn't it?
It truly is. And it's certainly been illuminating to revisit these experiences. Thank you for joining me, Sophia.
Thank you, Decimus. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this journey back to 476 CE.
We hope you gained a deeper understanding of what the fall really meant on the ground.
Indeed. Until next time then, on ChronoCast, from the year 476 CE.
Farewell.